God Allah, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And he said, take it, I came doing his work in truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth. All right. Want to do this lesson. Okay. Going into current events. All right. And the situation. All right. That took place. All right. In the house. Okay. With these politicians, man, pulling strings. All right. And doing backdoor deals, all right, while the American people are caught in a rat race, while they busy with work, busy with the hustle and bustle of Babylon, man. Okay, while you worried about your 401k and you worried about gas prices, all right, and worried about your woman, okay, for you Americans, all right, your government is passing laws, all right, behind your back, okay, passing laws and signing over, all right, these bills, okay, and the voting ain't the reflection of the so-called American people, okay, ain't your politicians, your senators, and your representatives, all right, ain't they supposed to be a reflection of your thoughts and your ideas and beliefs, or what you think should be done with the money, all right, the big old treasury bag, you know, that's what they tell you, that's what they will have you to believe that this is a democratic government, all right, where the people decide the government and the people decide the laws. What a fucking joke. A complete joke, complete hypocrisy. All right. But you had this guy Thomas Massey, all right, which who knows, his position, you know, because he could just be a puppet, he could just be set up. You got guys like him and Ron Paul and Rand Paul, they'll speak on the Constitution and they'll speak against, all right, the jump shot, you know, and go into the Patriot Act and all of that, you know. But at the end of the day, they could still be a damn plant, they could still be an agent, you know. They could still be a COINTELPRO, you know. So you have to filter everything, all right, all the information that you get, and especially filter it through the scriptures. All right, no matter what come out of these people's mouths, man. All right, and what kind of false prophecies did they bring out? You know, the news could say a meteor gonna hit the planet Earth in the next few months. All right. Oh yeah, we got NASA here. They said for sure, it's gonna be a asteroid is gonna collide with Earth and knock it off the course, and we're gonna go through a thousand year winter. Man, shut the fuck up, man. That's not in the scriptures. All right, it's not in the scriptures for an asteroid to hit the Earth, man. Okay, and plus the Earth is the Most High's footstool, man. So he could, hey, man, he's in control. All right, ain't no renegade asteroid. All right, gonna run into the Earth. Okay, but that'll be believable. All right, and you Babylonians would be sobbing in tears if Esau came out and said that. Okay, but we know it's bullshit based on the prophecies, man. Just like you had that nuclear scare, all right, over there in Hawaii, where they had the notifications that, oh, they're gonna get hit with a ICBM, you know. And if you know that you got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you know that that's bullshit, man. Okay, that's not according to prophecy. Okay, the missiles ain't gonna get shot off until World War III. All right, the mark of the beast. All right, and until Yahweh Shai, crack them clouds, man. Okay, so we gotta filter the information, that we receive, man. But it say in July 2026, the U.S. House of Representatives overwhelmingly defeated an amendment to cut off 3.3 billion in annual American military assistance to them people. You know, the Amalek. Okay, it say the measure was voted down 314 to 104, though the roll call highlighted a major divide within the Democratic Party, with 103 Democrats voting to end the funding. To track the exact legislative text, current roll call tallies. Let me see. Hold on. This is tripping. Okay. It say Representative Thomas Massey introduced an amendment to the fiscal 2027 National Security State and Foreign Operations Appropriations Bill that would have stripped 3.3 billion in U.S. military aid to Israel. You know, and here it is. You know, Esau ain't made no attempt to give you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans any form of payment. You know, any form of restitution. All right, for what he did to you. But here it is. He giving Amalek all types of money. He giving Amalek way more than that. You know, that's just the number for TV. All right. What about all the other shit that Amalek is just siphoning, you know, out of America, out of Babylon, man? All right, through his monopolies that he's fucking created. All right, which are unconstitutional. Okay, Esau just wipes his ass with the Constitution, man. Only you idiots, go according to the Constitution, man. You know, you Edomites, you six pack crackers. You know, you believe in that. All right. Donald Trump already said himself he don't give a damn about the Constitution, man. Okay, he don't care. He don't care about your fucking rights either. All right, but you gonna see pretty soon, man. Okay, that guy is exactly who the elite want him to be. Just a fucking actor. It said the amendment was rejected by the House on July 15, 2026, in a 314 to 104 vote. And Thomas Massey was the only one to vote for the bill, you know, to cut off the money to the small hats. Okay, out of all the Republicans, man. And then it was like split, you know, with the Democrats. Okay. So what did that tell you, man? All this left and right shit, it's a bunch of bullshit. This left right paradigm, oh, the left is democratic and they believe in the people and all this bullshit. All right, but they might be communists though. And then on the Republican side, oh, we're constitutionalists, you know, we're traditionalists and all this sucker shit, you know, all these fucking lies, you know, and they supposed to be opposing each other with ideas. All right, but every time it comes to a bill, all right, that's linked to the New World Order, all right, 6G, okay, the Crown Royale, okay, oh, the moles and bows, all right, the fruit flies, you know, every time it's something that got to do with that, the shit gets passed, man. Do you notice that? You know, just like Space Force, Trump created Space Force. Then Bonnie came in and was saying he gonna undo everything Trump did. All right, and he didn't say shit about the Space Force. When they asked him about it, he said he gonna keep it. You know, he talked good about the Space Force. Okay, so your government is full of shit, man. You know, and it's wicked as hell, man. You putting on that this is the people's government, and if they vote for you, you know, you gonna do they will, you know. But here it is, all the damn Republicans, you know, voted for the small hats. All right, and a lot of Republicans don't agree with that shit. You know, half of Republicans don't agree with that. Okay, giving money to the small hats. Okay, and on the Democratic side, a whole bunch of Democrats don't support the small hats, and they still managed to get 100 fucking votes. Okay, because Amalek run this bitch, man. Okay, they run your politicians, they run your president. Okay, They run your athletes, your actors. They run all that shit. Here it is. You see LeBron in the club partying or Drake in the club partying and shit. Who back there kicking it in the back, man? All right, with a damn drink in their hand, looking at Jake do all this damn wickedness while they making money off all of it, man. Amalek, bitch ass. You know. And then you have a dumb nigga go cuss out like they had them streamers and shit. They had one of them Jakes, he cussed out a damn Amalekite or something. And then the Jakes was like, hey, hold up, man. You know, hey, bro, hey, that's the money man right there. Hey, don't, you know? So this little rat got power, man. All right, and money, you know? But this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Babylon and his purposes that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Okay, so going into that least of the flock, man. Okay, that's Amalek. All right, the least of the flock is drawing Israel to war, man. Okay, I mean drawing America, all right, Babylon to war. Okay, that's why you people think that it's over. You think that it's a treaty. Ain't no damn treaty, man. Okay, Amalek is going for the fucking gusto, and they ain't gonna stop. All right, these motherfuckers then went into a sovereign nation and just start letting go on shit, bombing shit. You know, killing everybody, and ain't nobody did shit about it. You know, you got all this fucking UN bullshit. All right, all these damn treaties. All right, ain't nobody doing nothing about it, man. All right, they just looking and watching as the hammer of the earth. All right, uses his sword, man. You know, so this is a time like no other, man. You know, this is prophetic. You know, because here it is, you're supposed to have a like it's like they say the UN, what to call that shit, man? Oh, that's against the damn, can't remember the name of that term. You know, that's against that's like a war crime. You know, and Babylon and Amalek is committing war crimes, man. All right, they taking out bridges and shit and power plants. All right, that's gonna starve the people, man. That's gonna starve the civilians. You know, so they ain't gonna be able to eat. All right, and they ain't gonna have no clean drinking water. All right, so Babylon about to create an entire humanitarian crisis. All right, over there in that region. Okay, for the sake of Amalek, man. Okay, and this is all according to prophecy, man. Okay, because when you go into that large web, all right, that the small heads of weed, boy, everybody is compromising your government. And all these Amalekites are given high positions, man. You know, it shows that they really think that what they putting on that they the people, man. All right, because they are all right moving, you know, as they are a special people above other nations, man. That's why they get each other on. All right, that's why you can't say nothing about them. They'll blackball you. Okay, if you offend one of them, the other one not gonna deal with you, man. You know, especially if he high up. Okay, so they operating with some type of you know, royal mindset, you know. So when they above the people, they call them the yoyum, you know what I'm saying? So they basically call them heathens, you know. But the Most High is just doing this, man, to show that these are not the people of the Most High, you know. And when it's exposed, it's gonna be the biggest plot twist you ever seen in your entire life, you know. Cause you know them ain't the damn people, man. Them damn weirdos, man. You know. But that's all I had. You know, I pray this lesson was edifying and shalom.